When soils turned barren and food seemed impossible to grow, ancient farmers had a secret weapon. They didn't have synthetic fertilizers or chemical amendments. Instead, they turned to a plant so tough, so reliable, that entire civilizations built food security around it. For more than 4,000 years, this crop not only grew in poor soils, but actually made them richer each season, and the most remarkable part, it's a crop still available today, one that anyone with a backyard or even a rough patch of ground could put to use. This isn't just history, it's a strategy that could change the way we think about food resilience in the modern world. Farmers trusted legumes to do what no other crop could. The crop that earned this reputation is the humble legume family, particularly beans, peas, lentils, and their tougher cousin, the fava bean. Ancient farmers across Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, India and China depended on them not only for food, but also for their remarkable ability to improve soil. Unlike grains that drain nutrients from the earth, legumes belong to a special category of plants that work with soil microbes to capture nitrogen from the air and store it underground. Over time, this ability created fields that could produce more food without needing outside inputs. Historical records from early Rome mention the use of fava beans as a way to prepare fields for wheat. In ancient India, mung beans and lentils weren't just dietary staples. They were rotated with rice and millet to keep fields fertile without exhausting them. And across China, farmers used soybeans for the same purpose, laying the foundation for one of the most enduring agricultural systems in history. The science behind the ancient practice still holds true today. Legumes host tiny bacteria called rhizobia in nodules on their roots. These bacteria take nitrogen from the air, something plants cannot normally use, and convert it into a plant-ready form that enriches the soil. Each season, a crop of beans or peas left behind not only organic matter from decaying roots, but also free fertilizer locked into the soil. In measurable terms, 1 acre of legumes can add 50 to 150 pounds of nitrogen per year, depending on the variety. That is the equivalent of applying multiple bags of commercial fertilizer without spending a single cent. For a farmer in the ancient world, this was the difference between survival and starvation. And for a modern gardener working with poor soil in a backyard or rural plot, the effect is just as valuable. Legumes didn't just feed the soil, they fed families when other crops failed. Beans, lentils and peas are dense in protein, fibre and minerals, giving them an edge in places where meat was scarce or expensive. During ancient famines, these crops acted as fallback foods. A harvest of fava beans could sustain communities when wheat or barley yields fell short. This dual benefit, feeding both soil and people, explains why farmers trusted them across continents for over 4,000 years. For instance, during the early dynasties of China, soybeans became a staple that supported growing populations. In Greece and Rome, dried broad beans filled the role of a reliable winter food. And in India, lentils were so central that they formed part of cultural rituals and trade routes. This wasn't just farming, it was survival engineering. The lesson from history is straightforward. Poor soils do not require expensive amendments when a living crop can repair them. Planting legumes in tough ground for one season can create a foundation for better harvests in the next. A practical modern approach is to sow beans or peas in early spring, allow them to grow through the season, and then cut them down at flowering before they produce seed. Leaving the roots in the soil allows the nitrogen-rich nodules to decompose underground, while the cut plants can be turned into mulch or compost on the surface. For those working with very poor soil, mixing legumes into a rotation can be done step by step. For example, grow a crop of bush beans in summer, then follow it with a cereal like oats or wheat in autumn. Over time, this cycle mirrors the same rotations practiced by ancient farmers who discovered that soil fertility could be maintained indefinitely without depletion. Even a small yard or raised bed can benefit from dedicating one season to legumes before planting heavier feeders like corn or tomatoes. The crop that enriched soils for millennia is still a survival tool. History shows that civilizations leaned on this family of crops when survival was at stake. From the terraces of China to the fields of Rome, farmers didn't just grow legumes for food. They grew them because they made land productive for the future. Today, with the rising cost of fertilizers and the challenge of degraded soils, this ancient wisdom is more relevant than ever. Growing beans, peas, lentils or soybeans isn't just a gardening trick, it's an inheritance from 4,000 years of agricultural resilience. The story of this crop reminds us that sometimes the simplest solutions are the most enduring. A plant that fed people, healed the land and stabilized empires is still available for anyone willing to use it. Whether your interest is history, survival or sustainable food production, legumes are a proven ally. Farmers trusted them for millennia and the evidence shows they were right. If you found this exploration of ancient farming wisdom valuable, make sure to subscribe to In the Beginning and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts. The knowledge that sustained civilizations deserves to be remembered, and it may prove just as vital for our future.